3, 2, 1, 0.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Whatever I Find Entertaining podcast with your host deethezo. I'm glad to be back for episode 2. I'm glad that you all came back for episode 2. I hope you really enjoyed the first episode because I enjoyed making it. So we need to both enjoy this experience if it's going to get done well. Episode 2 today, we just got two things. It's episode 2, but we got two things to talk about. Two and a possible. What we really gonna get into is Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 1, and then the Justice League Snyder cut. Seen them both, analyzed them both, broke it down to the notes. I can't wait to get into them. But first, I want to talk about something maybe less important, and that's the Black Widow movie getting delayed again. Now, I don't know. As of me recording this today, I don't know when it's supposed to come out. And it kind of sucks because when it first got announced, it was like, who cares? Like Black Widow's dead, and why y'all wait so long to do a Black Widow movie? Like, no, who cares? But now that it's been delayed, like maybe 2 years after it was supposed to come out, because wasn't it originally supposed to come out? No, not 19. I guess it was originally supposed to come out last year, right when COVID hit is when it was supposed to drop. So it's like now that it's more than a year later from its original date, it's like it already seemed outdated when it got announced. And now it's a year late, it's like, man, it seems really outdated. Like, but then you got to think about how all their movies are released at certain times because they cover certain storylines. Like, they have to kind of not chronologically go in order, but you can put them in slots and go, this happened before this happened during this was going on while this was going on, that kind of stuff. So it leads me to believe that whatever happens in the Black Widow movie is not going to be important to the plot as of right now. Because it seems like to me, the most important thing for the MCU is maintaining their continuity. Like, it ain't about making money. We all know it's about money, but it ain't about making money. It ain't about putting out product as fast as possible. It ain't about flooding the market. It's about making sure their releases make sense with their continuity. So it leads me to believe that the Black Widow movie it's not needed yet, because if they get to the point where, oh shit, we gotta release the Black Widow movie because it goes along with this, then I believe that they'll just drop it on Disney. To me, it seems like they're waiting on things to get back to normal, so they can release the movie in a normal movie theater setting during normal times, so they can make the normal money that they make on their normal movies. So they're kind of trying to wait out COVID to see if it's the right time to drop the movie, which, I mean, I can't blame them. Like, they got to be losing, like, movie studios got to be losing like stupid money. Like, if they had movies planned to drop this last year or this year, they got to be losing dumb money, bro. So I get it, but at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, I might have to just drop it on Disney Plus, bro. Like, it might be like, y'all might just be done. And don't do that dumb ass shit that like Disney been doing with their movies, bro, where it's like, you can watch it for like $30. It's like, I already pay for Disney Plus, now you want me to pay $30 to watch a movie on a service that I already pay for? That's retarded. Like, who like, what? Like, no, I'm not paying $30 for, like, I wouldn't pay $30 to watch Endgame now. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I love Endgame. It's amazing. I love Infinity War. I'm not paying $30 to watch a movie. Movies don't even cost $30 to buy. So, like, you telling me I'm gonna pay $30 to watch a movie that I don't even own? Like, when it's said and done, like, if the streaming service decides to remove it, it's just gone. Like, I can't watch it anymore. Why would I pay $30 for that? That just seems so. But I'm getting off topic. I'm on some other shit that ain't got to do with Black Widow. But what I'm saying is that it just kind of blows my mind. Has to deal with this COVID stuff, and everybody's been affected in all kinds of ways, so I'm not about to get into that. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah, I just don't know what they're gonna do with that movie. It's just, I guess I guess they're just like I said, they're trying to wait out COVID, but at the same time, I think they have like a certain date where here's the time. It's gotta come out before this. Whether it be a date, whether it be a movie, whether it be a TV show, it's gotta come out before this because it's directly related to this thing. So like at the last minute, if we still COVID it out and COVID it up, then they're gonna be like, well, fuck it, we just gotta drop it. Whether it be straight to Disney Plus thing, whether it be a straight to movie theater thing, or whether it be some kind of in between in the theaters and also on Disney Plus for a premium price at the same time. Which I'm like, that's fine. Like, cause I'm one of those people who I miss going to the movies. I enjoy going to the movies. I really do love sitting in a theater full of people who are a fan of the same thing I'm a fan of and just enjoying shit like Endgame together at the same time. And seeing a room full of strangers have the same reaction to the thing you just saw. I miss that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to no movie theater, especially not this year. No time this year I'm not going. Like, nah, it's not happening. Until I don't even watch the news and I'm constantly hearing COVID news. So until that stops, like, I'm not going anywhere near a movie theater. It's just not happening. I mean, I feel sorry for them, but yeah, it's not happening. So, I mean, I would be willing to pay a premium price to watch a movie on a streaming service. I'm not saying like that's out of the question. But what I'm saying is, I'm not paying $30. Like, let me pay what I would pay for a movie ticket. That's all I'm saying. Like, $12, $13 and then I could watch it. But I guess it's like $30 because you can watch it as much as you want. But goddamn, that's a lot of money, bro. For a movie that I'm not even owning, that just seems, to me, that seems ridiculous. And maybe that's just me, because I know they're probably making a shit ton of. I mean, I know like they did with the Mulan movie, and there's a movie out now that's called Raya and the Dragon or something like that, and they're doing the same thing with that. So I know they probably got to be making money. So to some people, it's like, I don't care, I'm watching my movies, which is cool. I'm not judging nobody. It ain't my job to judge nobody. But yeah, I'm not doing it. There's no chance. There's absolutely like Shane McMahon interest music. No chance. Like but that's enough for the Black Widow. I do want to see it. I am hyped for it. I do want to see what they had planned and how that ties into the story, because it's supposed to take place like right after Civil War. So I do want to see that, but not for $30. I could wait forever, cause I got Disney Plus. So eventually it's gonna come. Eventually it's gonna get to Disney Plus, and I'll watch it then. And y'all can hear my opinion on what I thought of the movie when it happens. But that's enough of that. We're gonna get into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and like I told you before, there will be spoilers. I'm gonna talk about everything in the show, and I'm going to talk about some stuff outside the show as well. So, you know, stuff I just learned once I do my research. But we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. All right, well, I'll let y'all in a second.
What's up, everybody? I would like to take this time out to tell you about a fantastic podcasting opportunity. It's Anchor, a free app that allows you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or your computer. And once you're done recording your masterpiece, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you free of charge on popular platforms such as Spotify and Apple. Plus, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Anchor really does have everything you need all in one place to get you started with your podcasting career. So if you love podcasts and been listening to them forever and want to join in on the fun, or you just started listening to podcasts and thought to yourself, man, that sounds like something fun I can do in my spare time, why not go to the App Store right now? Right now, while you're listening to my sexy voice. You don't even have to cut me off or stop me. You can do this at the same time. You can go to the App Store, search Anchor, that's Anchor, or go to anchor.fm and get started. Once again, that's Anchor in your app store, ANCHOR, or anchor.fm. Why not give it a try? It's free, it's fun, you don't have anything to lose.
And we are back, and we are ready to spoil episode 1 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I forgot what the name of the episode is, though. I'm selling my ass right now. But episode 1, my first thing is, I thought it was absolutely 100% phenomenal. I loved it to death. I enjoyed every moment of it. From that brilliant action scene at the beginning to the very soft reveal of a U.S. agent at the end. I enjoyed every single moment of it. What do we want to get into first? Like I said, the action scene at the beginning. You know what was funny about that scene in my home? Because I was watching it with my brothers. And so one of them pointed out that when they were on the first plane that Falcon gets on, and they like jump out of the plane to get away from him, and he's like, y'all gonna get away from the Falcon in the air? Like, that's his thing. That's what he dominates. And he was like that's like fighting Aquaman and then jumping in the water to get away from him. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's true. That was kind of dumb. And they did just keep jumping from helicopter to helicopter. Don't get me wrong, it looked cool as hell. But y'all and it's plan on getting away from using air escapes to escape the dude who dominates in the air. I don't know, man. That don't seem very smart. But hey, I'm not a criminal mastermind. What the hell do I know? You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, the action scene was dope. It was fantastic. Like, I have no complaints. I got no complaints about any of the episode, for real. What I do, for one of my first things I want to bring to light is something that they do a good job. What they've done a good job so far of is, which never seems to really get tackled in superhero stuff, but they tackled it here and they did a great job of it, is that, like, superheroes don't get paid to be superheroes. There's no salary. They put their lives on the line just because that's what heroes do, you know. And it kind of sucks to see them have to struggle financially when they literally gave, like, some of them have given their lives to help people. And there are certain points in the episode where people recognize Falcon and they call him a hero, because he's definitely a hero. There's a scene where they're in, I don't want to be racist, but I have no idea where they were. It looks like a Middle Eastern country. I hope that's right. But yeah, and a guy comes up to him and he's like, oh my God, you're one of the Avengers. I want to say thank you to you for bringing my wife back to me. And it just goes to show you that people are a fan of them, but I mean, it's like your favorite athlete or your favorite rapper. You don't do anything for them. Like, you don't contribute to them getting paid. Like, you could be the biggest fan in the world. I'm a huge Iverson fan. I've never given him $1. I've bought some of his shoes before, but it's not like that goes directly to his pocket. That goes to Reebok, and then Reebok writes him a check. So, and it's not like they write him a check based on my shoe purchase. So, it's kind of interesting to see how heroes make a living when they spend most of their lives risking their lives for other people. So it brings up a great point, because one of my brothers, he was like, he really hates, I'm not gonna say no names. If he wants me to shout him out, he's probably listening now. If he wants me to shout him out, I will. He hates when financial problems becomes a plot line in comic book stories. And he's like, man, these people, which it makes sense. It's like, these people risk their lives, they should be set. Like, the people who work to stop Thanos should be set for life. Like, they should never have to even worry about a French fry, let alone how they gonna pay bills. Which, I mean, yeah, it makes sense, but the reality is, like, even in the world we exist in now, there are veterans that are homeless. and they fought to protect this country's freedoms, and they can't even get a job. And I don't mean to get too deep and political because I want to keep this podcast light and kind of silly and lighthearted, I guess is what I'm going for. But I mean, in reality, this show tackles some serious stuff, just like WandaVision tackled some serious stuff. But so you got to talk about it. And one of the things they tackled is there's like sometimes people aren't paid properly for the work they put in. And there's a scene where, and it was done perfectly. I couldn't have done it any better myself. There was a scene where Falcon's at the bank, and the bank guy is like, "Hey, I always wondered, how do you heroes like make a living?" He's like, dude, is there like a hero fund? Do Tony Stark pay out when he was living? It's like, yeah, that's a good question. And he answered it well. It's like, well, nah, there's no hero fund. There's no stipends from the government we get for being heroes. And yeah, Tony Stark gone, so I don't know how the Avengers work. So he's like, people help out when they can. People feel the need to give assistance sometimes, but as a hero, you gotta work a regular job and earn money. But also on top of the Falcon dealing with not even having time to hold down a regular job because I'm busy being a hero. On top of that, he was one of the people that got snapped. So he was gone for 5 years, which is which is something these shows are tackling very well that the movies didn't have time to, because the only movie that happened since the snap was Far From Home. And be honest with you, they kind of made a joke out of the snap, and they didn't really tackle it as serious as it should be, because it's Superman. I said Superman. It's Spider-Man, and they want to keep Spider-Man their most lighthearted romp, which is fine. That's fine with me. But one of the serious things here is like a huge portion, half of the population was gone for 5 years. It looks really weird on an application if you're trying to get a loan when you haven't worked or earned any money or even existed for 5 years. You have no line of credit for 5 years, bro. And I mean, you have a legitimate reason, but to a bank, like I don't care if you got a legitimate reason, but to a bank, it's no different than if you were locked up for 5 years. It's like, yeah, you don't got no credit, bro. You didn't work for 5 years. You didn't earn any money for 5 years. Like, nah, I can't give you no loan, bro. And it sucks because not only is this a person who got snapped, so there was nothing he could do about it, but this is Falcon. Like, he's a hero. He saved the day more times than you can count. He's one of Captain America's best friends. Like, he's supposed to be Captain America right now. So it really sucks. But it's a topic that needs to be tackled. It has to. You can't just breeze right through that like it doesn't matter. And sticking with the tradition of me being excellent at transitions, another thing that has to be tackled, that must be talked about, is mental health. And it hasn't been tackled a whole lot in the MCU. You dealt with it with Iron Man, a little bit with Thor, a little tiny bit with Spider-Man, dealing with the loss of Iron Man, for real. But besides that, it hasn't really been dealt with. I mean, I may be forgetting something off the top of my head, but it hasn't been dealt with a whole lot. PTSD and stuff like that. But with the Winter Soldier, you see him in therapy, you see him working, even if it's for a short amount of time, which is perfect, because somebody like that who's literally had their mind toyed with for, I honestly don't even know how many years. How many years it's been, like, because I'm assuming him and, because they both got frozen, which is why they don't age. But or why they age slower, I'll say that. Because a lot of people think it's got something to do with the super serum, and that's not it. The super serum doesn't stop your aging, as far as I know. It's because they were frozen. That's what slows down their aging. But yeah, like the fact that I think it's been like 10, 12 years since Captain America got unfrozen, and I think they got unfrozen at the same time, but I could be wrong. So it's been like at least 10, 12 years that Germans have been fucking with his mind. So imagine that for that long, and then having to come back from that. It really seems like it would suck. So, I mean, it's very obvious that he would be dealing with stuff. So I think they're on the right path with that, tackling his mental health, because obviously that's a huge issue, especially if he's going to be one of the main characters of this show. Surprisingly though, I'm really surprised that they didn't even like link up Falcon and the Winter Soldier in the first episode. But I'm cool with that. I ain't got no problem with that. It does show that they are in communication if the communication is one-sided. When they talk about how Winter Soldier has been ignoring, well, I'm not gonna call him Winter Soldier because that's not cool. That's the evil guy. Bucky has been ignoring Sam's text. But yeah, on a different note though. Okay, and sticking with Bucky for a second. I'll get back to Falcon in a second. Bucky just has so much more like emotional shit going on. I wanted to focus on that for a second. So after the mental health thing, you get to see. I don't know if it's his latest kill. I don't know when it happened in the timeline, but you get to see that his recent nightmare is of a killing of an innocent dude. And you get to see that, like, even though Winter Soldier and Bucky are the same person, they're at the same time they're two totally different people. And while Winter Soldier's doing all this fucked up shit, like Bucky, he remembers all of it. It's not like he's turned off while Winter Soldier's on. Like, he's there and he remembers everything very vividly. So vividly, it's from a third person point of view. But I'm just playing around. But yeah, you get to see that he killed the son of an older guy he's been hanging out with. Because when he runs into the older guy, you're like, why is he hanging with this old dude? But it's just nice to see Bucky have a friend, because I mean, his only friend was Cap, and Cap's maybe gone, but I'll get to that later. But once you find out why he's hanging out with him, it's a real gut punch. I don't know if I can classify it as a heartbreak, but it's a real gut punch that it's like, oh, he did do it. He killed that dude's son. And there's even a moment where he looked like he's about to go tell him. But I mean, how do you tell somebody you killed their child? Like, how? But it just sucks. It just sucks. But one thing about him that my brother pointed out to me is that way back in Civil War, Cap and Falcon were having a conversation, and I think Falcon was asking Cap how's it been adjusting to civilian life, and Cap was like, it's cool, it's whatever, and he was like, I don't sleep well. I think he said something about not sleeping. It's the beds on it, they're too soft. You feel like you're gonna fall in. And he was like, yeah, and I think there was something about sleeping on the floor. But like I said, my brother pointed out that in the show, in the Winter Soldier and the Falcon, or Falcon and Winter Soldier, Bucky was sleeping on the floor in what looked like a nice apartment. So there's a bed in there somewhere, but it's like, I can't do it, bro. I gotta sleep on the floor. The bed's too soft, which is probably more than I would ever know. Probably a reality for a lot of soldiers. Like, I mean, because I'm assuming when you're fighting war, you're not getting really comfortable beds to sleep on every night. So it's just one of those harsh realities of war that I hope I never have to experience. But, yeah, that does suck. But moving on. We haven't gotten to the, I guess, villain of the episode, I guess, because there wasn't really anything against our heroes so far, except for that damn the psychologist and the bank loan dude. But yeah, you get to see the flag smashers, is what they call it. It says, I I don't know. I wish I had time to do my research up on them before the episode, but I'll have research next week. You can believe I'm gonna know hell is about the Flag Smasher and hell is about U.S. Agent, because that's what I'm talking about now. Both of them. I don't know. I don't know anything about the Flag Smashers. All I know about U.S. Agent is he's a war veteran. He has some kind of enhanced something. I'm not sure what, but like he's fought Captain America before, and Captain America didn't beat his ass. So he didn't win. Flag Smasher didn't win, but Captain America didn't kill him either. So that's something. But that's all I know about. That's all I know about U.S. Agent. I don't know anything about the Flag Smashers. I just know it's a group of like anti-American. I don't want to say anti-American, anti-democracy maybe, terrorists. And the show says that they want things to go back to how they were doing the snap. So that's just some more insight to what life was like during the snap that we don't really get to see because we weren't there. But yeah, I'm interested. I want to see more about them. I can't wait to start diving into their history and learning about them. They seem super interesting, super strong as fuck. When they stepped on that dude's face, he's supposed to be dead. You know how hard you have to step on a person's face for them to instantly have a bruise? Like instantly? Like it didn't swell up and then there was an instant mark right there on his face. Like he probably should have been dead. Or like blind in that eye or whatever. But anyway, moving on. There is a kind of a throwaway joke in the beginning, and by throwaway I don't mean bad, I just mean like it was kind of hinted at but not really talked about. But it's something I'm wondering is where's Cap? Is he still alive? Because I believe this show takes place just like I almost said Wonder Woman, just like WandaVision. This show takes place like a couple months after Tony Stark's snap, the snap that brought everybody back. This takes place a couple months after that. So at the end of Endgame, Captain, he was old as hell, but he was alive and well. That rhymed unintentionally. That was not on purpose. But it was clear that he was okay. Like he didn't look like he was dying on that bench. He looked like he was fine. He was old as a motherfucker. So did he just up and die in those last 2 weeks? I don't know. I don't know. There's a joke in the show about how the rumors on the internet is Falcon flew Captain America up to the moon and he's just living on a moon base. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I'm taking a stand. You hearing it from me now. As far as episode 1, I'm not going to be theorizing anything about this show. I'm just going to be watching and enjoying, because I, like many people in this country, many people in this world, I learned my lesson from I learned my lesson from WandaVision. I'm not theorizing shit. I'm not guessing on shit. I'm not trying to hint at shit, and I'm not trying to like solve any riddles. I'm just gonna watch and enjoy. So I don't know if that's supposed to mean anything. I don't know if Man on the Moon is somehow connected to something else, because I don't want to go off on some. I don't want to go off on some deep end about Man on the Moon shit. Maybe there's some Moon Knight shit going on. I'm not going there. I don't know. I'm just watching the goddamn show. That also rhymed unintentionally. But besides that, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about for the first episode of Winter Soldier. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was amazing. I'm super happy it exists. And I can't wait to see more. So, I mean, on that note, I think we're going to take another break. And then we're going to get into Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, I'll be right back. Three, 2, 1, go. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Let's just get into it. We're not gonna waste no more time. Let's get to the main event. The reason why we're all really here the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. Now, I will say this. Last episode, I kind of hinted at the fact that I might have some audio related to this on the podcast. And what that audio is after the show. Well, I said after the show. After we watch, because I watched the movies with my brothers, of course. After we finished the movie, we kind of talked about it for a good 10-15 minutes. And I have some of that audio. You can feel our immediate reactions to the movie. And I think I'll play that first before I get into any of the stuff I want to get into. So let's play that clip. And then we'll get into it. We'll get into how I feel about the movie.
Fuck this movie.
No.
Exactly, bro. This shit was a billion times better.
Yeah, it was a billion times
Baby
better.
good.
It was better, but was it good?
Yes, I can tell that they even made corrections to things they did with other characters that didn't have nothing to do with this movie. Like they fixed a lot of stuff. Like for something small, bro. If you seen Aquaman movie,
I had.
the underwater scenes were terrible, bro, because they didn't do a good job of showing you what it's like to fight underwater. It just looked like they were flying, which flying ain't the same as swimming, man. So in this one, you could really feel the weight of the water when he was fighting. He fought Stapleton, right? When he was fighting Stapleton, you could see the weight of the water, and you could see Aquaman using the water to help him fight. In the Aquaman movie, they wasn't doing that. It was just basically water didn't weigh anything. It's just air to us, which is not true. Even for them, I know they can swim super fast, but it's still not air, bro. It's not the same as Superman flying through the sky. That's why I hated the water parts in Aquaman. But like you can tell criticisms, bro. Wonder Woman's even shot differently in this movie, bro, than she was in the previous Justice League movie. In the previous Justice League movie, you could tell a dude was on the camera. Yeah, look at these, zoom in on that chest. And we go low shots so you can see that skirt. Like she was shot way different in this movie, bro. Just
Basically, because we've been looking at shit and we've been saying like, was that a movie? He was like, no, it was in the movie. Or he would ask and I say, no, it's in the movie.
Yeah.
It's about maybe 10% or less of the last movie in here.
yeah.
It's very little of that whole movie in here. It's like all new shit, bro. Which is the old shit for some reason. The shit is
Yeah, it's the old new shit.
It's the first version.
It's the new old shit.
And God, bro, like certain scenes, bro. He said he don't remember the car chase scene with
I don't remember being that long. Him driving backwards and shooting them things, bro.
No, bro. I think the whole thing, bro.
I feel like Aquaman showed up and landed on the car hella quick.
You remember the original one when they was fighting, when they finished fight stuff, and Batman was driving, he was shooting all those parademons. It looked terrible in the last one. It looked great on this one. They fixed it.
Everything that looked terrible, they fixed.
Yeah. Everything that looked terrible, they fixed.
I enjoyed it, bro. Like I enjoyed this movie. It had to be this long simply for the fact that they didn't set up Justice League through movies. It had to be this long.
There were no standalone movies for the other characters.
Yeah, so it had to be this. They actually gave the other Justice League members background story, right?
Yeah, they did. They gave Aquaman a background story. This was basically Victor's origin story.
Yeah.
This is his origin story, period. They gave Wonder Woman's unneeded, but
Yeah. I mean, she already had one movie before this.
Yeah, she had.
Yeah.
Superman didn't need one. Batman, I mean,
They didn't really need one.
he didn't really need one.
They even told us that this was 20.
Superman had a movie.
Yeah, he had a movie
Yeah,
before
I'm
this.
saying Batman didn't need one because you're 20.
Yeah.
They didn't say that in the original. At least we know who.
The timeline don't really match up.
No, it don't. But at least we know what Batman y'all using.
And I don't even know if any of this in credit shit is even useful because I don't think they're doing this.
Yeah, I don't know if they going this way. But you can see this is the original vision. Like this is where they were supposed to go. This is where they were supposed to go with it.
He had a whole plot like lined up and shit.
Yeah.
Even though which is just my personal part. I just don't like the fact they started so the timeline just don't match up.
You know.
It just don't. That's my real issue with this whole thing. It just don't match up. And the fact that you skipped 20 years of Batman, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
But
So now they're trying to go back in time and try and see what happened with him while he was just Batman.
see, if you doing standalone Batmans and they prequels, I'm be like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But it's still weird to start off like that. whatever. But I don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he had a vision. Like
He definitely had a vision. He definitely had a vision.
Them niggas who made WB, they just said, here, give us the money. Who made who was the first one? They just here, look, go get them tickets. It's like nothing. There was nothing there, bro. And I thought people were just gassing. It was like, bro, this movie like hella good. Like it's 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
See, I saw a bad review on it.
I ain't seen
Really? I ain't heard nothing bad. I mean, I ain't heard a lot, but I ain't heard nothing bad. My homeboy just texted me, tell me he loved it.
Was gassing it, but no, nigga, this is really good, bro.
It was really good.
My favorite, I don't know, my favorite part that they did well was Victor's conclusion of I'm silent.
Yeah, I'm not a
I don't
monster.
know why, but that was my favorite part.
I'm not a monster and I don't hate my dad.
It was that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was that. Because it was like, this is truthfully his origin.
Yeah.
This is,
I heard that they didn't have no chemistry though. Like nobody on set really had chemistry. Like
Really?
they didn't act like they had chemistry. I mean, from what I saw, Cyborg did look very bland. Like, but I don't know. Now I tell me.
this movie was the shit. If they had just kept it like this, bro, I wouldn't have been mad. I wouldn't have been as mad as I was when I seen that other one. I was like, bro, this is probably like one of the worst, if not the worst superhero movie I've seen. The other one was terrible. Compared to this? Now, I ain't just saying it's on goddamn Endgame level. I ain't saying no shit like that.
Yeah, no, I don't know Endgame.
But it's definitely, if Endgame is in A, it's definitely in B.
You think this is a B?
If I say Endgame and Infinity War is an A, this is definitely in B.
I think this is a Z. I mean, Endgame is a Z.
You can do that? We can say that?
You know,
Or S. We can say S or Z.
which one's higher?
Z.
If you play Dragon Ball,
It's Z. It is Z. If you was to class them from Z, A, B, C, D, what would you put Infinity War?
What you mean Z? What you mean?
S.
Oh, S.
Okay.
What I put? What would I put?
Endgame.
Yeah, S.
What would you put Infinity War?
S.
Black Panther. Like, be truthful with yourself.
It's not up there with them.
Really? To be honest, bro, let me change that. I would put Endgame A, and I would put fucking Infinity War S.
I'm not mad at that.
Really?
You need Infinity War to have Endgame.
yeah, you do, but at the same time,
I'm not mad at that. That's why I put them equal, bro. Because you can put either one on top.
For
I'm
the
not
sole
mad at
reason,
it.
bro, I've never seen a movie where a bad guy wins. Not a superhero comic book movie where bad guy won.
Like just straight up,
but
not
it's
disputed.
Still, it's still
not
kind of lackluster because it's part one, you know. So it would be like this
Why would it be like let's
because you got Infinity War and then you got Endgame, right? Which is just
They're
two
basically
parts of
one
the same-
movie, is
Yeah,
what
they're
I'm
one movie, just
They
two
can't be
parts of the same movie.
They can't be one.
And it's like this is 4 hours while the original was 2 hours. It's like showing what should happen. It's kind of like
You talking about this?
well, I'm just saying how it relates to it.
Is it still a movie?
Yeah, what the fuck is this? Man, that's
Or is
Atlas.
it just a?
That's Hercules.
Is that Hercules or Atlas? No, that's Hercules.
Oh,
No, that's Atlas.
that's just a company though.
Yeah, but no, but that was
Yeah,
a nigga living on a planet.
yeah, that's got to be Atlas. Why would Hercules be holding up?
But Hercules was lifting something. Okay, that's it. What Bugs Bunny? No, y'all don't get no credit. Y'all don't get no credit.
No, we gave him the money.
Man, y'all sold y'all soul too.
That's cool.
But no, this movie was really good. And then it was like it's probably like my favorite part of the movie, bro. You remember when Superman showed up, like, cause you pointed out Superman showed up and he got just whooping Steppenwolf ass, and they was getting their ass kicked. No, it was like a group thing. Like it was like the Justice.
They
League,
made them
not-
useful, bro.
Yeah, not Superman saved the day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they made everybody useful.
They made
Yes.
everybody useful.
Okay.
I mean, he was even like, "Hey, Flash been useless this whole movie." We had a conversation about that, but
we had that one moment.
What do you do?
but I'm not gonna tell you.
That's too
gonna tell you.
big to spoil, bro.
I'm not gonna tell you.
That's
I
too big.
mean-
He did the most impressive thing I've ever seen any Flash do on anything.
No, you haven't seen the CW show.
You ain't seen
No,
this.
bro. I seen a lot of the CW show, bro.
How far did you get?
Like 4 seasons, bro.
So what can he have done? Have y'all seen what Kid Flash can
Dude.
Ain't no Kid Flash.
I know Kid Flash.
Kid Flash in the show?
Yeah.
Kid Flash didn't do this.
I didn't get that far.
Nobody did this as a speedster, bro.
What do you do?
I can't tell you, bro.
He did a backflip while running fast. No, we're not gonna tell you, bro. We the least spoilers niggas you ever meet, bro. You ever meet, bro. We're not gonna tell you. Money couldn't get me to tell you. No, it would have to be a stupid, ridiculous. You an idiot.
You telling
for
me
giving
I
me
gotta see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Because Randall didn't see it either.
Randall didn't see
We
it.
not gonna tell him.
He's not gonna. I'm never.
But he sleeped through the movie?
Yeah.
He slept like through like the end part. He slept when they were sitting through
He
fights.
slept through the good parts.
Through the best parts, he
The
slept.
best parts.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good for the majority of the movie, but all the action was like at the end.
I still feel like Wonder Woman had overall the best action in the show. In the movie.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wonder Woman was kicking ass in this moment.
She was.
For sure.
But I think she had the most to prove because he wiped out her people, and I know she feels some way about that, bro.
That's true.
And then he started talking.
People wiped out completely?
Not
Not completely. He just fucked a lot of them.
Yeah.
He killed a lot of them.
Yeah.
He killed a lot
Yeah.
of them. Yeah. He said, "Wait, no more."
But he was talking trash like he did that though.
Yeah. He was trying to get in her head.
Yeah.
I mean, Aquaman didn't have really nothing to prove to this nigga. Yeah. Superman just met this nigga. Batman, what he gonna do?
Yeah, what is he gonna do?
Flash was more support than anything.
Yeah.
And Cyborg, I mean, yeah, you had something to prove, but you had something to prove to yourself.
The Flash should kill everybody over here.
I guess.
You mean in this picture?
The Flash is the strongest DC character ever.
Man, I'm not listening to that shit, bro. I'm not.
I was surprised Randall didn't break up. Huh? You talking shit? You spending some shit? Okay. 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Okay, that was, like I said, that was some audio of me and a couple of my brothers' immediate reaction to the movie. Like that music in the background that you were hearing was the actual credits rolling. Like we started talking about this right after it was done. Like that's the kind of reality I bring it to this podcast. Like this not no fake rehearsed, like practiced, created, manufactured reactions, but like this is honest opinions, right? And you're really gonna see that once we start getting into the show and I start having guests on and stuff like that. So first thing I want to talk about, the big question here, obviously, was this 4-hour long ass movie worth it? Was it better than the original? Was it any good? Was it just as bad or what? I will say this. I get why it was 4 hours long, and I think it needed to be 4 hours long. And before I elaborate on that, I will tell you right up front, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's the best, to me, it's the best DCU thing yet. It's the best one. And I think it may be Zack Snyder's best film. Like legit. But the reason why I say I think it had to be, why it had to be 4 hours long is because it was very clear after watching this movie. Two things were very clear up front. More than two things were clear, but up front, two things were very clear. One, I get why the original was so bad. And two, it was very clear that Zack Snyder had a vision, not only for what he wanted to do with this movie, but what he wanted where he wanted the MCU, sorry. Where he wanted the DCU or DCEU. I'm gonna call it the DCU. I'm not calling it the DCEU. That just sounds dumb. But the DCU, where direction he wanted them to go. I mean, sadly, this movie's not really canon anymore, so it doesn't really matter because, I mean, we're getting a new Superman. We already got a new Batman. Cyborg doesn't want to be Cyborg anymore, and we have no discussion on a Flash movie at all. And the last Wonder Woman movie was god awful. So, like, I don't even know what the next DC project is. So, I mean, I assume, to be honest to God with you, DC needs to just do not connected movies. They need to just do like The Dark Knight wasn't connected to anything. Like, the Joker movie wasn't connected to anything. The Suicide Squad just needs to be the Suicide Squad. The Harley Quinn movie wasn't really connected to anything. it was hard to even tell if that movie took place in Gotham, to be honest with you. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the movie. The reason why I believe that this movie needed to be 4 hours is because the people in charge of the DCU, they haven't done a good job of setting up future movies. So there had to be a lot of setup and backstory placed all into this movie. I mean, it's like my brother said that this was basically Cyborg's origin story. Like for real. And that's fine. So that way, if we ever do get a Cyborg movie, then we don't need his origin story. We got it already in a Justice League movie. Which I guarantee you, if we ever get a Cyborg movie, there's going to be an origin story. Because DC's not going to... They're not gonna, like, this is uncanon, bro. Like, this might as well not even exist. This might as well be a fan-made movie. They're not going to continue with any of this. It sucks because it was so good. It really was good. And the reason why I say it's obvious to me now why the original Justice League movie was so bad is because Zack Snyder had a clear vision. He wanted to do something with it, and he couldn't because of family issues that we're not going to get into on this podcast. But somebody else had to come in and make his meal for him, and they didn't know the recipe. So it was like if you were cooking Thanksgiving dinner for your entire family, right? And you were using all your recipes that's been passed down from your family for years and years and years and years. And then you had to leave the kitchen for whatever reason. And then somebody else came in who has no idea about your family traditions at all whatsoever, came in and started making everything. They started making the turkey, making the cornbread, making the greens, making the mashed potatoes, making the macaroni. They started making all of that, not paying any attention to your recipes at all. They're finishing every meal you started. So when you get to the end and the meal is on the table, it can't be that great because two different people cooked one thing and they have totally radical different ways of cooking this food. I can see if they cook the same way and one person started, the other finished. No, this is not what this is. Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon, which Zack Snyder is the one who started it, Whedon finished it. They're totally two different filmmakers. So it makes sense that Whedon had to come in and clean up a mess. If you can see me right now, I'd be doing air quotes, clean up a mess to get a Justice League movie out. But how could he have ever made a good Justice League movie when he had no idea what Snyder's vision was? Like, how? There was no way he could have made a good Justice League movie. It was upon the executives to go, oh man, our director is going through some stuff. Let's hold off on Justice League and let him finish his vision. But they didn't want to do that because executives got an executive. So they rushed it. And that's what you get. You get a really terrible, god-awful movie. But there's so much in this Zack Snyder cut that fixes everything. There's so many scenes in here where the original set up something, but the payoff was cut from the movie. So the setup is like, what the fuck was that, bro? Like, what was that about? So you look so confused as to what that setup was supposed to be about. 3, 2, 1, go. Like, for instance, there was so much Steppenwolf stuff cut out of the original that this makes him, I mean, he's still not like a super great villain that like you're gonna love and cherish forever, but I don't think Steppenwolf was all, I mean, I don't know. Like I've said before, I'm more of a Marvel guy, so DC I'm learning as I go. But I don't know if he was ever a huge a huge character in the comic books, like a huge fan favorite or anything like that. I think people just know him as, oh yeah, that's one of the niggas that work for Darkseid. So because I don't remember anybody getting super amped when he was in the original. Like, oh man, they putting Steppenwolf in her. That's crazy. I just remember asking people, who's the guy? Who's the villain? And it was like Steppenwolf, and I'm like, who's that? And it's like, oh, it's just whatever. So, but in the Snyder cut, they actually give him some character, and it's like that's another one of the things I want to talk about is character development in here. That's another reason why it had to be 4 hours long, because there's so many characters in this movie that weren't introduced in anything else, weren't properly introduced in anything else, that Justice League was, the original cut was just like, dude, whatever. Just they're here now. They're here now. Where this one took the time. At some points it took more time than it needed to, but I'd rather you give me too much information than not enough information. Just plain and simple. So, like Steppenwolf, for instance, there was, which I'm pretty sure this wasn't in the original. I mean, I didn't go back to watch the original again, but I've seen the original like 3 times. So, I didn't go back and watch it before. I planned on doing it, but I didn't. I didn't get around to it. In the Snyder cut, there's this whole subplot about how he's here, obviously working for Darkseid, but something happened. He did something where Darkseid's people consider him a traitor, and he's trying to win back loyalty. He's trying to win back trust. And so he's doing all this to get back on Darkseid's good favor. So it's like, okay, at least he has a motive now, which in the original, he was just like, I'm here because I'm a bad guy and the movie needs a bad guy. Like, at least now it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get it. And like, that just leads me into the character development, which just was non-existent. Because at this point in the original, when the original cut dropped, you had gotten Superman, Batman vs. Superman, and then Wonder Woman. Those are the only movies. There was no Aquaman, and there was only one Wonder Woman movie. So she didn't really need Wonder Woman didn't really need any backstory, and Superman didn't either because he already had 2 movies. And it's Batman. Like, what backstory do you need for Batman? They did tell us that this is Batman had been Batman for 20 years now, which is kind of a continuity nightmare, but at least they gave us something, bro. Like, before, we just had no idea. We just knew this was sometime after Jason Todd, because in one scene when, I think it was in Batman vs. Superman, you see that Jason Todd's his Robin costume had been hung up in a case, and you could see, oh, okay, Jason Todd must be done. So this must be at least after Red Hood. So, but yeah, that's all you get. That's all you get. But at least in here, they specifically tell us, yeah, this is after Bruce Wayne's been Batman for 20 years, which is cool. That's development we didn't honestly need, but it helps. Because like I said, I'd rather get more information than not enough. Because if I get more information, I can at least just throw away the stuff I don't need. If I don't get enough information, I can't form a plot. Because I don't have enough information. So, at least they try to develop Steppenwolf. And like I said, he's still not like, he's not going to be your top 10 movie villains. But at least he got something. Something is better than nothing. But speaking of development, like I said before, this is basically a Cyborg origin story. You even get a little bit more Flash than you got before. I think you get to see a scene where I think it was Iris West. I think not that versed on Flash, but I think that was supposed to be Iris West. That he Iris, I hope I'm saying it right, Iris West, I think, that he ends up saving in a pretty cool scene. It lasted a little too long, to be honest with you, but Zack Snyder loves his slow-mo, so I'm gonna do. But got a little bit more, a little bit more violent, which was because when the original dropped, there was no Aquaman movie yet. So you got a little bit more about him. It wasn't super helpful to the plot. I mean, you learn that he don't mess with the Atlanteans for whatever reason. You learn he think his mom's dead. And I don't know about his dad. I think he said something about I'm going to see my dad in the movie. But yeah, you get, like I said, once again, at least you get something. So that was good. So there was definitely way more character development, which again alludes to the 4-hour runtime. But I mean, I'd rather this movie be 4 hours long because I've given a lot of information than this be an hour and a half or however long the original was. I think it was 2 hours. Then it'd be 2 hours long, and it's like, what the fuck was that? So yeah, I mean, I applaud the effort. I applaud. They even gave us a little dark side, not a whole lot, but enough to tease at more dark side. But I mean, that's not going to happen now because Zack Snyder's movie is uncanon, as I said, which you'll probably hear me say a lot because it's such a bummer that the DCU won't be continuing this story. Because it was so good. It was such a good, what's the word? A roadmap? Is that the word I'm looking for? It was such a good, like, path, such a good trail for the DCU to take. It would have been really dope. It was still too early for a Justice League movie, but I mean, it's here now, so at least make the best of it. And I think that's what Zack Snyder did. So yeah, you got a little dark side. That was pretty cool. I think one of the most important things I noticed with this movie is how Aquaman and Wonder Woman were treated. I think this movie did a great job, and this could just be my imagination. Don't get me wrong, this could just be me giving the movie credit it don't deserve. But I feel like they listened to the critics of the other DCU movies, and they learned from that. Because one of my problems with the Aquaman movie was that I hated all the underwater parts. Like, the stuff on land was dope. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was fantastic. But the underwater stuff, it looked bad. Like, graphics wise, like digital effects wise, the water just didn't look great, and them underwater didn't look great. But also, the fight scenes look bad. And plus, I don't really care about the Atlanteans, just like I don't care about the Amazons. I'm not a DC guy. This is not a knock on them saying they're not good and there's not great stories there. It's just me personally, I don't care about those characters. So it really would take a lot for me. Like the same thing with the first Wonder Woman movie, because do not get me started on that second Wonder Woman movie. But the same thing with the first Wonder Woman movie. Everything before she left the island bored the hell out of me, bro. I couldn't wait for her to get off the island. Once she got off the island, the movie picked up and I was on. I was enjoying it for the rest of the movie. But the whole on the island shit, I was just like, I could not care. And what's crazy is the second movie started with this long, like 15-minute scene of her being a child again on the island. And it was just like, my fucking God, bro. Like, anyway, that's not the point. The point is, in this movie, I feel like they really learned, because like with the Aquaman movie, for instance, the fight scenes underwater, and I was telling my brothers this, because maybe it was just a nitpick that I noticed, but the underwater scenes, the fight scenes, it's just like, you never got the weight of the water. Like, I get that these are Atlanteans and they can swim through water like nobody's business, but it just looks and feels like they're flying. It doesn't feel like they're swimming. Like it feels like they treat water like it's air, and it's not the same thing. I get that they're used to living underwater, but water still has a weight to it. You know what I'm saying? It still has a different level of gravity than air. Aquaman doesn't swim through water like Superman flies through the air. It's not the same thing. Water has more push than air. It has, but when I mean push, it's like it's harder to get through water than it is air. I don't care who you are. Like, so it just always, they always felt like they were flying underwater instead of swimming and fighting each other. It just looked bad. If you go back and watch those fight scenes in Aquaman, it just looked bad. There was one part, bro, where Aquaman was fighting his brother or his stepbrother, whatever they are, and Aquaman's falling. And he almost falls into the lava. How are you falling in water, bro? And you know how to swim? I don't understand that. How does that work? Even if you're unconscious, your body wouldn't just fall. You don't weigh as much as the ocean do. That's how things sink. You have to weigh more than the thing that the object has to weigh more than the substance it's placed in. That's just basic science, bro. If I throw a plate in the ocean, there's no way that plate's going to sink ever, because it's never going to weigh more than the ocean. It's going to float on top of the ocean forever, unless like something lands on it and makes it heavier. But the plate by itself is never going to sink. It's just never. Just like a human, like even because like I get Aquaman's not human. He's half human. But even if he was full Atlantean, it's not like they weigh totally different than a human. Like, because if you want to say no, Atlanteans don't have the same physical makeup as a human, well then you got to get into some real science, because I see them walking around on Earth like it's fine. If they weigh more than a human, then they wouldn't walk like humans when they're on the surface. It'd be different. Walking would be harder for them because they're heavier. There's more weight in their bones. But we're not finna get into the super science of it. We're just finna get into the fact that it just looked bad. Like plain and simple, it just looked bad. And as a Snyder cut, there's a scene where Aquaman is fighting Darkseid underwater. He's fighting Steppenwolf underwater, and you could just see how he's using the water to his advantage to fight, because Steppenwolf ain't used to fighting underwater. I don't know how he's breathing underwater either, but that's a different story. Steppenwolf ain't used to fighting underwater, bro. So like Aquaman should be able to use that to his advantage. And you can see he wasn't enough to beat him, but that's fine. But you can see he was using the water, and I just feel like that's a lesson they learned from the Aquaman movie, because that had to be a complaint. I can't be the only person that saw that shit. But anyway, another lesson I feel like they learned is Wonder Woman. Like, she had some of the coolest moments in this movie, and I feel like the way she was shot, like filmed, like camera just on her, was so much different than the original Justice League. Because I feel like the original was just like, ooh, look how hot she is, man. They was getting all like man ogling a woman angles, like close-ups on her chest, and there's a scene when Flash like trips and falls on her breast, and it's like goofy. It was like, that's not funny though, bro. Like, that's dumb. And then there's like, they were all low angles and stuff. Like, I just feel like this movie was shot way more like there were women on set, and it's shot way more respect. She's treated like a warrior, not like a female, you know. Which I get, being a female is a big part of who she is, which of course it is. Her woman's in her name. But like, she was shot more like a warrior being filmed, not a dude filming a chick he think is hot. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's another thing that they corrected, and I was super happy with that, because I can't be also the other person that saw that too. But next I want to say back to what I was saying about Steppenwolf. They really made him more of an opposing figure in here, because that scene, I gotta believe that scene was extended. The whole Amazon fight scene when he goes and gets their mother box, I feel like it was way longer than it was in the original, bro, because it was just really dope, and he was just really beating the shit out of these people, and it was good. It was not good as in I was cheering for him, but it was just a great action scene. And they really just improved him as a character. I mean, he was just some dude that was just like evil, and now he's like, oh, this is why they were scared of him, bro. Like, he really might be that. But which leads me to my next point of they really let the Justice League be the Justice League in this movie, because in the original it really just seemed like they were a bunch of people, and they were just trying to do their best. But in this one, it seemed like they were really bent, because you got more development. They had more time together. They failed more together. They fought more together. So you really got the sense that, okay, they're trying their best to be a team. They're complete strangers from different walks of life, but they're trying their best, and you get that. So it's so much better. And even the last scene, because I mean, as you should know by now, I'm spoilers. Like spoiler warning. Even the last scene where they're fighting Steppenwolf, it was like obviously the Justice League without Superman ain't enough to beat Steppenwolf. Okay, cool. In the original, it's just like they were nothing. They were just paperweights to him, and he was throwing them around until Superman showed up, and then Superman showed up and beat him no problem. And it was just like it made the rest of Justice League look so weak and puny compared to Superman, which I get that they can't really fuck with him. I get it. It's Superman. But still, what's the point of having a Justice League movie if they're just going to be Superman and his Justice friends? So I think Snyder Cut did a great job of improving upon that, where they all contributed something. And then at the last moment, because part of me was thinking maybe he ain't going to show up. Maybe they're going to do it without him. But part of me was like, maybe no Superman. But he shows up at the end, which is fine. I'm okay with him being in the movie. Just he didn't need to be in so much of the original cut. That was whack. He didn't need to be so much in the original cut, bro. That was whack. So but yeah, he shows up at the end and he kind of helps them save the day. But everybody played a role. And even in the final blow too, or the final blows to Steppenwolf, everybody got a little hit in. Except for, I think, Flash. But Flash had his moment. He had his moment in which I'm not super versed in all the things Flash has done in comic books, TV shows, animations, and whatever. But this is one of the coldest things I've ever heard of Flash doing. They did in this movie. So, everybody played their part. I mean, even in the end when Flash was supposed to do his thing, but he got shot and he couldn't keep going, and then Batman even saved him. So it was like everybody, while Cyborg was doing whatever he does with the motherboard. I said motherboard. The mother boxes. Wonder Woman and Aquaman were fighting Steppenwolf, trying to keep him away from Cyborg, while Batman was trying to keep people off of Flash, while Flash was charging up so he could do his super thing. Everybody was like contributing, and it was just like, God, they look so useful now when the original made them look so useless. And I just love the hell out of that. It really just made for a good movie, bro. Like, that's as simple as I could put it. It really just made for a good movie. But I think that's about. I mean, the movie was cut into like 7 chapters, so it was like 6 chapters in epilogue, and it was marked on the time thing, so you could see how long each chapter was. So like, if you want to watch a chapter and then come back and watch another chapter tomorrow, it's organized like that, so you can do that. But I recommend you sit through it. I know 4 hours is a long time, and a lot of people don't have 4 hours, and people got kids running around the house and they work from home and all that. So 4 hours is a long commitment, but it was very good. Maybe watch 2 hours one day and then 2 hours the next day. It was dope. It was like, it straight up was dope. Even the epilogue, which was a bit long, but it did have a really cool scene with Martian Manhunter, who was I don't want to say teased. It wasn't teased. They literally showed him in full costume earlier on in the movie, but like, you got nothing. It was just like, oh, there's Martian Manhunter, and then nothing for the rest of the movie. So it was like, what the fuck was that about? But then they showed him at the end, and he had a conversation with Batman, and it was like, oh crap, see, he was even setting up Martian Manhunter to come to. Zack Snyder so clearly had a vision, bro, of what he wanted to do, and he just didn't get to, because the people the people in charge, the upper management at the I guess the Warner Brothers offices, they just so impatient, bro. They don't want to take the time to make something great. They just want Avengers money now. So it's so clear he had a vision. And then there was an even longer, which I loved. That was it was a flash forward of the world, which I'm assuming is Injustice. Like, I assume in the Injustice stuff happened, and if you don't know about comics, Injustice is basically Lois Lane dies, and Superman. A lot of people say he goes evil. I wouldn't say he goes evil. I would say he goes to a state of, he's like, you know what? I need to rule the world. Not in an evil sense, but this violent stuff, y'all not gonna get it together with me just putting out fires. I need to organize this mug, and it needs to be under me. That's how I'm going to keep everybody safe. So, I mean, if you want to call it evil, that's fine. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I wouldn't look at it as evil. It's more like he's sick and tired of the bullshit, and he's sick and tired of the Earth trying to figure it out. So he's gonna, on some Thanos shit, he's like, I'll do it myself. Everybody go under my rule, and you'll be safe. So I'm assuming that's what happened, but we'll never know because this storyline is not going to be continued. But there was a great scene of them on the bridge. It was Batman for some reason. What's the dude he's always fucking fighting? Slade, Deathstroke. Deathstroke was there. Aquaman's girlfriend was there. I think Aquaman's dead. It was a couple more people. More importantly, though, the Joker pops out, and it's Suicide Squad's Joker, and he got hinted at. Like, everybody knew that he was going to be in the movie. I didn't know where. They never said where. So once we got to the epilogue, it's like, wait, what happened to the Joker cameo? And then they get to this and you go, oh, here it is. And it's like, I'm going to go on a limb, bro. Controversial opinion. Get ready. Somebody sound the sirens. Burr, 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 burr. Like, controversial opinion. I love the Suicide Squad's Joker. I'm not saying I loved him in that movie because he really didn't have any purpose. He didn't advance the plot, and you could have completely taken him out of that movie, and it wouldn't have changed the movie at all. But I love Jared Leto's Joker. I really do. I have from the beginning. I thought his design was dope. I thought he was dope as an actor, and I thought he did the character justice. So you get this scene at the end, and it's not really the same Joker, but it's the same Joker. And he was so good. He has like a monologue where he's just talking the most shit to Batman right to his face. And he's being very Joker because all Joker wants in life is for Batman to kill him. That's what he wants more than anything. That's pretty much the motivation for like 90% of the shit he does. He wants Batman to kill him because once Batman kills him, he will say, damn, Batman broke his one rule for me. Like, people joke at it. There's some kind of relationship, some kind of romantic thing between Batman and Joker, but there is, bro. There really is. And I don't mean that in like a homosexual way, but there is some romanticized thing between Batman and Joker where the Joker wants to be the most important person in the world to Batman. If you look at comics and you look at movies and stories, bro, like that's all the Joker wants. He wants to be the most important thing to Batman. Like I said, 90% of the stuff he does is to see if he can push Batman over the edge. He even talks shit about beating Jason Todd, doing what he did to Jason Todd right in front of Batman. Like, and he even tells him to the face, "You're not gonna kill me. You're not gonna kill me, so I'm not worried about nothing." So there was that scene, and it was amazing. But like I said, some people might have hated it. I'm a huge fan of the Jared Leto Joker. I'm not saying he's better than any other Joker, so calm down. I'm not trying to get canceled on social media, but I love the Jared Leto Joker. I did. I loved him in Suicide Squad. But yeah, on that note, I think that's it. I think that's all I got to say about the movie. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The runtime is expected and also fair. There's nothing in the movie where I'm just like, man, they could have cut this whole scene and they could have cut the movie down. Everything that's there, I feel like needed to be there. Some scenes are a little longer than they needed to be, but in the end, bro, the product is grade A. It's grade A. I'm not here to rate anything. I don't do ratings, but like, I loved it. I recommend it, especially if you're a DC fan and you hated the original Justice League movie. I'd highly recommend this one. I highly recommend you find 4 hours out of your day to watch this movie. I highly recommend it. I know that's a lot, but it's going to be worth it in the end. I can guarantee you. I can't see anybody walking. I can't see any Maybe if you're not a fan of comic book movies, but if you're not a fan, then why would you be watching this in the first place? That's the only way I can see you watching this movie and coming away going, "Oh, that was trash," or I only know a handful of people that have seen it, and everybody I know that has seen it thought it was dope. I mean, because all you have to do is be better than the original, and the original was absolute garbage. So just be more than absolute garbage, and you're good. And they were definitely absolutely more than garbage. They had a low bar, and they exceeded it. But if this was the original cut of the movie, like even if there was no original Justice League movie, if this was the original cut, it would have been dope. I don't know if I would have sat in the theater for 4 hours and watched it, but yeah, in my own home where I can be in the comfort of myself and have my own snacks with me, absolutely, absolutely, bro. But on that note, I've been rambling far too long. This episode already ran longer than I wanted it to, but I had to, and I know I didn't touch on my normal stuff. I didn't touch on any anime, and I didn't touch on Snowfall. I am caught up to that. I think next week we're gonna have more Winter Soldier. I'm gonna have some Attack on Titan. I'm gonna definitely do some Attack on Titan stuff because there's gonna be 2 episodes. There's gonna be the one they couldn't do last week because of the earthquake. I hope God bless. I hope everyone's all right with that. There's going to be that episode, and then there's going to be the episode that's coming on Sunday. So yeah, I'm going to have that to talk about. I'm going to have more Winter Soldier. I'll probably talk about Jujutsu Kaisen because I haven't really talked about anime much on the show yet, and that's definitely a part of whatever I find entertaining. So we'll definitely touch on that. As far as anything, also, if you follow me on social media, it's mostly Deezo the Great on Twitter, on Instagram, and my YouTube channel is deethezo. These podcasts are eventually going to get up on my YouTube channel. So it's deethezo, DEETHEZO. They're going to be up there in case you don't like listening to podcasts on like audio websites. If you rather listen to them on YouTube, I don't have a problem with that. I watch podcasts on YouTube. They're going to be up on there soon. They're not there yet. They're going to be up there soon. But yeah, on my social medias, if you follow my social medias, there's a running theme I've been doing once a week. I'm not going to, if you know, you know, but I've missed the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to start back doing it next week. So by the time I talk to you again next week, the series that I've been going on with, there will be a new entry. So I'll be able to bring that up. So I got a little something special at the beginning of next podcast. So be ready for that. Something special. I promise. This ain't no teaser. This ain't no hint. This ain't no maybe. This is a guaranteed. I'm gonna have a little something special for you at the beginning of the podcast. So, but anyway, thank y'all for coming through. I appreciate y'all. Please continue to check out the podcast. If you're watching this on a platform that allows you to rate, please go ahead and give me a rating and comment if you can. Let people know. Word of mouth really helps me out a lot. But if you can't, then you can't, and that's fine too, because I'll still love you. Because you gave me your time today, and you listened to me ramble on about utter nonsense and just my opinion. So I love people who listen to my opinion. So thank y'all. I love y'all. Be safe, y'all. I'm out. Peace.